the city of Detroit, where the friendships are possibly fake and definitely fractured. Love and Marriage DC, Season 1, Episode 5. Let's talk about it, y'all. So the show picks up. We're still at the bowling alley, and these girls are still arguing back and forth. It's at this point, it's just annoying. Latoya asked Christina what she was saying to Brandon for him to come up with this whole idea that Colby is copying her, and she says that he's coming up with this assessment on his own. How is he doing that? Because you said he's never there. You said he's never there. He's always at the studio. You're like some type of married single mom whose husband comes home and everybody's asleep. But somehow during the course of him not ever being there, he's also assessed the fact that your friend, your new friend, Colby, is copying your style. Latoya also said the situation is fake. I don't know what she means by fake. I don't know what she means by that, but okay, Latoya. Christina says that Colby is a new influencer. She keeps like stressing the fact that Colby is new and she's not new to this. This is what she does. She says she's a new influencer that needs to understand how business works and that she can't just jump into a partnership that's already established. Basically, had you made the phone call to Colby and told her, I just feel like it's just so way more complicated than it had to be. Colby is over here as a new influencer, and maybe that is something she needs to learn. I don't know, because like I said, I have a idea how it works, but partnering up with brands, I feel like that's something that you learn along the way. And if you're lucky enough to have somebody share the knowledge with you, then, you know, you're going to stumble and bumble till you figure it out. And unfortunately, in a lot of those spaces, when it comes to entertainment, nobody wants to share their knowledge with you because they're afraid that you're going to step on their toes. And, you know, because God forbid you're a Black woman. Now, all of a sudden, there's not enough space for more than one of us. So that's generally how that works. So if that's the case, if Colby is not understanding, all you had to do was pick up the phone, because this is your girl. Y'all just met like last week down to the store to get, you know, birthday celebration out of the way for or anniversary or whatever the occasion was. But anyway, you didn't pick up the phone. You could have picked up the phone and told this girl, listen, I already have a partnership with Harper Ray. Maybe, you know, we can collaborate on something else. Simple. Colby was saying, you know, I'm not selfish and it's not all about me. And I don't necessarily think it's selfish. If I already got a bag on the table, girl. I'm not selfish for not splitting it with you. We can do something else. It's just that easy. It didn't even have to be a fight. And whatever collaboration that Colby was trying to have with Harper Ray, she's gonna have to get, you know, with Harper Ray on that. They said they know her personally, so I don't even know why. I don't know why she felt like she needed to say anything, maybe just to keep herself out of the middle of the mix, you know, in order for it to not be conflict. But that being said, Christina was being condescending. She was kind of sitting there like not saying anything. And, you know, the calmer she got, the more escalated Colby got, and it turned into a thing. So Brandon said, this is not the first time that this has happened. Like, you know, apparently there was some type of idea of having a sip and see, and then LaToya says that Colby called her up about a sip and see. Look, I don't know what's going on with these girls. I think it's so ridiculous. The lack of communication amongst all of them, between the couples and the friends. LaToya just sits there, you know, not saying much of anything. And then when she does speak, it's like, girl, stop. She said, LaToya says she's over the drama. She's over the drama in general. And she's really over the Smiths drama, because the Smiths argued down at the Lavender Field. Then they came over to her event. Shout out to Tisha. They came over to her wine experience, and they had a issue there. The funny thing about that is, LaToya, your husband started that drama. Your husband seems to be the, what did he call it? The gutter from the sides, gutter over there at Beverly Hills. Your husband starts a lot of mess. He does. He likes the mess. And then he likes to sit there and act like he's not about the mess, but he is the mess. He sat up at your event, screamed at this young lady so unnecessarily, and you said nothing. Now all of a sudden you're uncomfortable with the drama. And the drama ain't really even all that. And y'all, I mean, like, you're at a bowling alley. How embarrassed can you be? Like, that's what people do. They go to the bowling alley, they get a few beers in, even without the beers. You're hollering and screaming and acting a fool whenever you get a strike. Like, I feel like if you're gonna have a turn up, the bowling alley is probably the best place to do it. It's not like your wine experience where we're acting all hoity-toity with our stem, you know, glassware and our pinkies out. That's not where we at. We at the bowling alley, child. So if they're gonna scream at each other, let them scream at each other till they get it out of their system. So Colby and Russell, they walk out. Colby's all in her feelings. She's all worked up. She said when she gets angry, she cries. I can relate to that, because sometimes that energy gotta go somewhere. I break shit. I don't know if I've mentioned that here before. I probably mentioned it over on Shooting the Shit with my niece Tamika. But when I get upset, I break shit. It makes me get better. The energy has to go somewhere. And so when she gets angry, she needs to cry. And she was worked up. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless to whether it was right or wrong, the way Christina responded, I think Colby's feelings were genuinely hurt. And I think her hurt feelings is the thing that had her husband so escalated, you know, where he felt like he needs to defend her. Now, Anthony's punk ass, child. Anthony gonna walk outside, you know, he talking to Russell, man, if that was me, I would have had choked Brandon out. Really? You would have choked Brandon out for talking to your wife that way? Because you was way worse over there talking to Brandon's wife on 2 occasions. Over at the Lavender Field on their anniversary, you were screaming at his wife like a little bitch. And then you did it again at the wine experience. You were screaming at her and her friend. Now all of a sudden, because Brandon says Colby cat, which it was rude, but my goodness, it was not that bad. Colby, what you need to do is run down to the t-shirt place and get some t-shirts made to say Colby cat and make a coin off of this little phrase, because everybody seems to like it. Hopefully next time you post on your little I'm not gonna say little, the next time you post on your page as to influence the people, go ahead and influence the people with a Colby cat tease and see how that works out for you, because you know we love a little mess too. Anyway, you know, Brandon did it, and not Brandon, Anthony. Anthony did a interview with Carlos, and I'm gonna be honest, I fast forwarded through most of it because they're not that interesting. Yeah, they're not that interesting. He was by himself. I'm assuming Dr. LaToya was at work, but Anthony loves the spotlight. He loves the spotlight a lot. That's why he keeps entering himself into everyone else's situation. But he stood up on Carlos's interview and said how he thought it was funny. So did you think it was funny? Because you said if it was you, you would have choked his ass out, but it was funny. Brandon, Anthony is a mess. He's a snake. Y'all should watch out for him. He's not to be trusted. So we know Christina's friend has an event, and Christina hasn't designed for a while, so she's ready to get her feet wet again and jump back into this design space that she used to be in as a fashion designer. I don't know how long ago that was, but apparently she has put that on hold for whatever reason. And so I don't know why she thought it would be a good idea to go over to a funky hot storage unit where they moved out of their house into the penthouse, and their stuff is in the storage unit. So she goes in there digging through boxes for some old funky ass fabric. Now, I know for myself personally, you can't find anybody that's in the designer space or the crafting space. We always have fabric on fabric on fabric. I can't even tell you like how much fabric I have in my workroom that I haven't touched yet. That's years old that you're like, one day I'm going to use that. And every now and then I get an opportunity. Would I ever use it though on a new client with a new project? Absolutely not. Why aren't you at the fabric store? It's Detroit. And okay, there's fabric online. There's so many ways to get new fabric. Like fabric comes in seasons and trends just like anything else does. So ain't nothing trendy or on trend that you got in that freaking box in the storage unit. Take your behind over to, and this is supposed to be your debut. Your debut on a platform like this should not be made with no funky ass fabric that you have stuffed in your storage unit. That's just embarrassing. Well, anyway, that's on you, girl. She also decided to share with her friend what has been going on with her and Colby with this whole copying her style, swagger jacking, and Colby Cat type situation. It's so funny to me on all of these shows, really, how when somebody comes back to tell their version of the story, their version is always very skewed and, leaning very much in their favor. Anyway, Christina's story is different every time. Like every time she tells a story, she puts a little bit of twist on it. I got the text message. It wasn't like I was not in a good place. I just needed some time. I didn't understand it. I was confused. Her version of the story always has a twist. It's never exactly the same as the last version of the story. And Chelsea is her friend. And like most of us, we're going to support our friend, especially when we haven't heard the other side of the story. If my friend comes to me with a situation, I don't got to hear the other side of the story necessarily. I got her back. If I hear something in the story that sounds off, I might point it out. But for the most part, Chelsea is Christina's friend, not Colby's. So she has no reason to lean any way except for towards her friend's side. But she did say, I know it's hard sometimes to be the bigger person when you feel like you're right. But did you call her? And I was like, yeah, like even your friend knows that she has to be very delicate, seemingly, with the way she approaches you. So she did say, I like Chelsea, because even that felt very logical to me. Like, she's your friend though, like y'all haven't spoke, did you pick up the phone? I mean, even if you think you're right, did you call her? And Christina said, I don't want to. So for me, like that girl wasn't that important to you anyway, but it seems weird for somebody that you were referring to as she's like a little sister. My best friend is like my little sister. If something goes down, I'm gonna pick up the phone and call her. Or her call me. I don't feel like we're gonna be going, I definitely care. I care if her feelings are hurt, even if I think I was right. And I care about our friendship. So I don't want something so silly to come in between our friendship. So that couldn't have been a real friendship. And maybe that's what Latoya was saying with Spec, because It's hard to understand what she's talking about, but maybe she meant y'all are fake. This is a fake friendship, because if you don't care about each other's feelings enough to pick up the phone, it can't be real. And I'm a whole doctor with real people's problems, and I don't have time to be over here, sitting over here trying to listen to y'all arguing about whose picture was the same as the other person's picture and whose idea was first and all of that foolishness. So, Christina don't care. She don't want to call Kobe, and that's where that's at. Anthony is over here hosting a man movement meeting. I feel like I'm so over the man movement at this point, especially when it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense or doesn't seem to be very, very well thought out. It only looks like an opportunity for this man, Anthony, to put himself in front of a bunch of folks, a bunch of men, and seem important, make himself important. He's definitely not very good at presentation. I'd be curious to know what his job is at Live Nation, because this seemed kind of silly to me, honestly. So they're meeting up for the man movement meeting. Brandon comes in looking a fool with a shirt. He always looks so scruffy and undone, and I don't know, like he's about to take the trash out. Well, today he's taking the trash out with a shirt that has Christina's picture all over it. Like the actual print of the shirt is her picture. I don't know why anybody would want to wear that. I don't know why you would have that printed up. So when Colby says Christina is selfish and self-centered, who made that shirt? Christina, did you make that? I don't think Brandon did. It just seems weird to have fabric made with your picture all over it. Like, unless you're a 2-year-old, I just think it's silly. Russell said he would not wear that shit, and I would not want my man to walk out of here with a shirt that's got my picture all over it. And, you look the fool. Just, that's how I felt about that. Why don't you wear that shit to the studio, Brandon, when you got your little girl over there practicing and pretending like she's an artist? I don't mean to disrespect the girl. I guess she's an artist, but she might want to find somebody else to, try to launch her career. Anyway, according to Anthony. Anyway, Anthony wants to have a march. And the man, one of the men at the meeting was like, what is we marching for? Good question. I'm glad you asked that question, sir. His idea is for them to be example to the young men in the community. Like, it's honestly not that confusing. He's just not that great at articulating what it is he wants to have happen. I don't know. I think he has a very broad idea of what it should look like, but he ain't really spent no time mapping out what is it? What do you want to do? What is the outcome supposed to be? Like, so, he said he wants to be a example to the young men so they can see what they do. And I get that. If there's a group of Black men in business and politics and, whatever profession they happen to be in that they feel would be an inspiration to young men, awesome. Go ahead and present that. He wants to show them how they treat their women. Anthony, just leave that off the list of things to do, because ain't none of y'all treating your women like anything that you want to be passing down to any young men. So no, none of y'all know how to treat your women. Not you, not Russell, not Brandon, and I don't know that Bravo has a woman. So I mean, if he does, he's not married, he's single. So we're gonna leave Bravo out of this conversation. Bravo, as a matter of fact, said he's trying to figure out where he fit in. He's a business owner. Do we want to lead the young men to the club? I don't think so. I think they're gonna find their way there, march or no march. He wants them to see how they raise their children. Well, if you're asking Colby, and if you're asking Christina, and if you're asking LaToya, Anthony left his children to go to Atlanta in the middle of a pandemic to do whatever it is he was trying to do over there, and left his children to be raised by their mama and their grandfather. So I don't know what example that is. Brandon, he don't be at home with his children. He be at the studio with somebody else's child, getting screenshots of whatever it is he gets screenshots of and making stars and such. Russell's over at the non-for-profit, then he's at school and he's at the gym, and because his wife, Kobe's words, not mine, you're having an affair with the gym. That's what she said. So he don't really be home that much to be, I guess, being an example of how to raise your children. I'm not saying they're not good fathers. I'm just saying that they're not really having a whole lot of input in how their kids are raised necessarily, unless it's just like, let me tell you what to do. I think it was Russell that irritated me. We're supposed to be example to our wives. Fuck out of here with that. I guess. I guess. I don't have a husband, so I'm my own example. And I'm a good example to me. Thank you. Anyway, Anthony says he wants Brandon and Russell to speak. Well, Russell did say his not-for-profit has something to do with athletes and, teaching them. So I'm guessing he has actually something that he could share that might benefit them. Brandon said he don't know. He said he ain't been in no college. He don't even understand what's happening right now. Like I said, Anthony's not a good speaker, but it's not that complicated to understand what it is he was trying to do. Anthony said they're going to show up with bullhorns and they're going to move together as a unit. Oh, goodness. So Bravo's like, what the heck? Why is Russell and Brandon looking at each other like that? One thing I do get entertained by, I get entertained by the fact that Bravo's never there for the actual fight, but he's there always like for the conversation about the fight. So he'd be looking at them like, what's happening right now? It was funny. Russell is ready to get at Brandon. He's still mad about this whole comment, like that he, said about Colby. So he's like, don't speak to my wife. Don't, if back in the day before I was saved, I would have broke every bone in your body. Brandon just sat there like, I better not say nothing in case this dude gets up out of his seat. I mean, I feel like a lot of people have something negative to say about Russell saying that. I don't, because I feel like Brandon is such a little dweeb sitting there in that stupid ass shirt. Like, I feel like he needs to hear it like that in order for him to back off and know you're not playing. Because you came in there like low key to be annoying. Just, wearing that shirt. We know you don't have your wife's back. You done sat up there and told us in so many words how she's holding you back and standing in the way in your career and you trying to catch up with everybody else. This is all Brandon's foolishness, the fool over there across the table, his best friend for 20 years, Anthony, was coming at his wife so hard. He did not defend her. He jumped right in and, piled up on the rest of them. So we're not going to act like you respect your wife so much. At the end of the day, Russell said he ain't, he ready to have a party for his wife's birthday, her 30th birthday. And I don't want y'all there and I'm not mad at that either, because if I'm trying to enjoy my day, I don't want to have no conversations about nothing that's going to have me worked up. We're not in a good space, so don't come to the birthday party. That's it. That's all. And Anthony was entertained by that. See, this is a moment, Anthony, that you could have told your boy, like, I mean, do we really have to go there? Like, is it really that serious? But no, you thought that shit was that just tickled you. You thought that was so funny that Brandon, your friend of 20 years, got uninvited to the party. Because you're so immature. So this next scene, we have Kristen and Brandon sitting at a dock, looking at the sunset. They were discussing his relationship with his parents. I guess it's the anniversary of his father's death. I tend not to think about those days. Like, I don't like to be dwelling on sad days. But anyway, he was just, they were just talking about, how he missed his dad. And then in the same breath, she said, his father passed away. He didn't have a great relationship with his father, and he didn't have a great relationship with his mother. which explains why he might not be the best husband because of the examples. So then his father would not be somebody you would have at the man movement, and probably not him, because he's what child. So then Brandon is like, so I meant to tell you about, this meeting that we had over that Anthony called about the man movement. Why are they just now talking about this? I feel like if my man is somewhere and some person threatens to break every bone in his body and uninvites us to a party, he gonna come home and be like, you know what happened? I was over there talking to da 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 da, and this is what he said. Like, this is a conversation that happens the day it happened. But for whatever reason, he ain't talked about it, or at least that's they want us to believe that he has not brought it up to Christina until now. Oh yeah, you know what I meant to tell you about? I meant to tell you about the other day where Russell threatened to break every bone in my body at the man meeting. And she's over there acting fake concerned or surprised by it. What? I've never heard this conversation before. Again, Latoya, I'm starting to see the fake that you were talking about. He said Russell was a raging bull and he was holding the red cloth. I didn't see no raging bull. I saw Russell be very clear about, you're not gonna be sitting up here calling my wife names, and whatever names y'all would like to call her in the privacy of your own home, please don't do that like to her face, or I'm gonna have to act a fool. That's it, that's all. He said they were uninvited to the party. She said she didn't care, she didn't want to go to the party anyway. So now you're just acting like you hate this girl. It's just, that's weird, Christina. I just think all of this could have been, resolved in such a quick phone call, and now it's turned into, I wasn't trying to go to her party anyway. Okay. Moving on, we're at the Star Factory. Brandon is over there, switching buttons around on some type of console, and he's got the beats working and he's doing what he do, because this is what he do music, just in case you didn't know. So Bravo shows up and Anthony shows up, and they're sitting there talking about the showcase, and Brandon is like, yes, so let's talk about this showcase. We need to get these investors together. And Anthony's like, we've done all that. All that's done. We've got the investors. We've got everything lined up. Bravo's got the venue. I've talked to Magic Mike on the 1-2 mics. He wants to be a part of it. I don't know Magic Mike. And listen, I don't know what this man's name is. I might have wrote it down somewhere. DJ Mix or something like that. Whoever this DJ person is, he intimidates Brandon, because as soon as his name got brought up, Brandon, his face took a turn to the, what is he doing? Why is he going to be a part of it? So, yeah, they said, advertising, done. Investors, done. Venue, done. So apparently Anthony, slick, sneaky self, has been meeting up with Bravo and other people to finalize, the details of the showcase. And Brandon, he's feeling away, obviously, but he's trying not to show his feelings. And he's like, well, okay, so I guess it's better, since you guys have done that I'll go ahead and handle all the artists. And Anthony's like, hang on a second, because DJ Mix is going to want to, be a part of that, just to, make sure, everything is professional and it's a good look for the city. We're not going to do no raggedy showcase. So low key, he just said, Brandon, we don't trust you to handle any of that, because we need to make sure it's a good look. So DJ Mix, you're not going to be handling all the artists by yourself. DJ Mix is going to have his hands into that too. And Brandon is like, you over here swagger jacking his idea. Here goes some more swagger jacking. Hey, Colby, get another t-shirt. Swagger jacker. Colby Cat, swagger jacker. See what happens with that. Because Brandon won't probably do it. He's, he's too busy in the studio. Anthony said he honestly has been feeling like, and he's telling this to Brandon, honestly, I just have been feeling like I don't trust you because of what happened with Russell. And I'm like, that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever. You have carried on about how this is your guy and y'all have been friends for 20 some odd years. And now all of a sudden you don't trust your friend because he called Russell's wife a Colby cat. Like, it was rude. It wasn't untrustworthy. It was kind of bitch made, but both of y'all are bitch made. You said you thought it was funny. One hand you thought it was funny, the other hand you was going to choke him out. Brandon, I feel like you would be far better off without Anthony sabotaging whatever it is you got going on, if anything. Russell ain't even there. Like, Russell said what he had to say. Don't talk about my wife or it's going to be a problem. And I think based on the way Brandon reacted, that ain't a problem anymore. Christina and Colby, they won't probably be friends. I think Christina's friend is Chelsea. And I think that's because she doesn't find Chelsea to be intimidating. And because Chelsea has a very sweet spirit, you know, she probably doesn't cause a lot of conflict with Christina. She just lets her be whatever it is she got, you know, she got. Honestly, she probably like feels sorry for her. Her friend Chelsea's probably like, girl, she over here with this clown. I feel bad for her. Anyway, Bravo's confused again. I love Bravo's confusion. He's like, I didn't know like whether y'all talked to each other or didn't talk to each other. Bravo is like, listen, I have the venue. But that being said, Brandon, you were over at Bravo's club talking about don't say I'm here and we at church. And he's probably like, nobody got time for that. Because I feel like a showcase at his venue done the right way is definitely going to be good for his business. And you over here hemming and hawing about whether you're allowed to go to the club or not. So I do see why Bravo moved forward with Anthony and whatever he had going on. People doing business are going to do business. That's it. That's all. Bravo, I'm gonna call you out on this one though. Like when Brandon wasn't at the meeting, you should have asked why he wasn't at the meeting. So don't sit up here now and be like, oh yeah, I was gonna ask about that. I'll have to ask that next time. Bravo, I'm gonna call you a little bit on bullshit too. Fast forward, it's Colby's birthday party. They have a boho, what did they call it? Boho neutral? I don't know. Everybody looked really pretty. They were in like soft beiges and pinks and browns and white. It was real pretty. What's his name? Russell did a good job of getting the right people to help him decorate the venue. It was lovely. The food looked like it was on and popping. The drinks was popping. What's the girl Stormy was over here telling Tisha that her joint looked like Party City. This did not. This definitely was, very, very beautiful setup. Colby says she hates surprises, and she was not in the least bit surprised. She knew that he was up to something. It was cute and everything. I could appreciate the effort. It's nice to have the people that you love, celebrate you on your special day. So she gets to her party. Look, the toy is there. They stand around a little bit, discuss what happened at bowling. Colby thinks that Christina is being manipulated by Brandon. I agree. But when it comes to this situation, I think she's not so much manipulated by Brandon. I think Brandon is jumping in, but Christina is definitely, she's reacting based on her own feelings and emotions. So, maybe, like Latoya was saying, maybe she is a fake friend or your friendship with her was not genuine. I don't know how long these people knew each other before Carlos chose them. So, they knew of each other and they didn't actually know each other. But at this point, it's not that serious because Colby nor Christina need to give a damn, doesn't seem like, about not being friends anymore. And that's okay. Colby, if you're a new influencer, you need to focus on going and growing, and don't worry about whatever this girl is doing, because you know now collaborating with her is not something that you're going to be doing. And don't even talk about any of the things she's doing, because she's going to say you copy her idea. Now I can't copy your idea if I haven't talked to you, so maybe you should just leave it at that and, you know, come up with some interesting ideas of your own. There's a million of them out there, and there's a million of them that have been done before. And we ain't Christina, we've heard about Sip and See. I'm just saying, ask Phaedra. We've heard about Sip and See plenty of times before you came up with it. And I saw Colby on a live. I saw one of her lives, and she said she ain't never planned on doing no Sip and See. So now, you know, I guess maybe that'll come up, maybe not. But she said she never did plan on doing no Sip and See. So I don't know where that even came from. And like Latoya said, where is Brandon getting it from? We know where he's getting it from. He's getting it from Christina. So as much as Brandon gets on my nerves, I'm not going to put this all on Brandon. I'm going to say some pillow talking was going on over there. Christina was expressing how she was feeling about the way Colby was moving. And Brandon jumped right on that bandwagon because he don't like Colby in the first place, because she called him out on his bullshit. So she's easy enough for him to target, since, you know, Christina is already feeling away. Anthony is meeting up with Brandon and Christina. As look like Coney Island or something. I don't know. I don't know why they need to meet up, but Brandon is over there under the disguise that he's there to mend things and make things okay. He's trying to bring everyone together. And they're like, I don't even understand what's going on. And now it seems like Latoya was over there caping for Colby, and Anthony's like, Latoya, Dr. Latoya doesn't have a problem with anyone. She doesn't have a problem with you, and she doesn't have a problem with Colby either. She just didn't want us looking crazy out in public. And we're going to stop saying that, because nobody makes her look more crazy in public than you, Anthony. Not nobody outside of her household is going to make her look more crazy than you do, because you a fool and you act a fool. So far, every time we've seen you, you real quick to run up in a woman's face, snapping, don't play with me, don't play with me, don't play with me. Because as soon as they said, what's her name? Christina said something about Latoya jumping on the bandwagon. Don't play with me. Ain't no bandwagon over here. Christina's like, where is Latoya? And Anthony said, she's at home with the kids. She's not at home with the kids. She's at the party. What are you lying? Now you sound like Brandon. What is you lying about? They already knew about the party because they was uninvited to it. So, yeah, Brandon, Anthony, sorry. Why is you lying to them? She at home with the kids. So production takes an opportunity to show some photos of, you know, Christina and Colby's pictures. They were similar. I've looked at both of their social media, and their pages are actually not that similar. So they looked real hard to find pictures that look somewhat alike, but I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I can probably look at 4 or 5 influencers and you'll see more of the same. Because like I said before, there's a particular template that they follow to you know, it's about pretty pictures and child brand connections, I suppose. Anyway. Anthony is over here talking about, I just want everybody to win. He does not want everybody to win. Anthony wants Anthony to win. I feel like he would snake Dr. Latoya given the chance. Flashback to 2020 when he was over in Atlanta with a house and not saying nothing to his wife about purchasing one. Anthony wants Anthony to be on the forefront. He would take all of y'all off the thing, as far as I'm concerned, and it just be him. So that's pretty much how that ended, with Anthony sitting up there lying to Christina and Brandon about where his wife is and what he wants for the group. They said they ain't interested in building nothing, no way. They not interested in building nothing with Russell and Colby. So spend your time and effort somewhere else. And to be honest, Christina is already established as an influencer and she's the one with all the connections. She don't really need to have a friendship with Kobe, and vice versa. It just, I'm gonna say this. I do like the show. I would like to move past this stupid conversation about Kobe Cat and swagger jacking. Next week, it looks like Kobe and Christina are at it again, having this conversation again. Hopefully, this is the last time. Like I said, I'm a big fan of y'all. Just don't be friends anymore. Jeez, because it's stupid. Y'all are arguing over nothing, absolutely nothing. Out of all the influencers out there, I would say they're probably not pretty low in terms of followers anyway, because these girls are out here with 500,000 to 1 million followers, and y'all are just like, I don't know how far ahead Christina is in terms of how long she's been doing this than Kobe, but Kobe's definitely a good jump ahead of her in terms of followers. And that's just how that goes. Unfortunately, if you're a trailblazer, and I ain't calling Christina no trailblazer, but if you do it first and you set the, the blueprint, then it makes it easier for the next guy to come along and do it. And Kobe has a very endearing personality. Christina comes off a little stuck up and entitled based on the way she's behaving right now. Because if you want to be a big sis, then act like one. Brandon and Anthony are going at it. They're having a battle of whose showcase is it. Look like it ain't your showcase, Brandon. Anthony said you ain't produced no stars over there at the Star Factory, and we've been saying that, but that's very rude for your best friend of 20 years to say. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that ends. I bet you Bravo is confused as hell again. He probably like, I thought, what? Y'all better not. Anyway, y'all, that was Love and Marriage Detroit, season 1, episode 5. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, and we'll see you next week, y'all. Bye.